the TIllbrook Talks podcast, episode number 2, where you either love it or you're wrong. Today, our second guest of the podcast is another very good friend of mine. It is Mr. Rory Goodman. Welcome to the podcast, Rory.
Hello.
Hello.
See, I don't get the same intro Ollie got. You know,
I mean,
most famous person in our friends group.
I mean, you don't have a YouTube channel.
Nah, yeah.
I mean, it's nothing personal.
I can't even take second because you seem to know everybody this side of the M25. So.
I am. Yeah. I don't know how I know so many people. I guess it's just being the friendly person I am. I mean, not to big myself up or anything.
That's an easy 1K subs incoming there.
Oh, yeah, what, bro? Speaking of numbers, our first episode, as we are recording this, has already hit 200 views, which is incredible. And I'd like to thank every one of you who has clicked on and watched the podcast. I've got a lot of love from a lot of people, and I really appreciate it. To finally be able to do something I love and get so much support means a lot to me. So I thank you all for clicking on. And
just remember me when you're big.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'll remember you. The first 30 subs, I'll remember you when I'm big time, innit? Yeah, you know how it is.
Exactly.
So, Rory, welcome. Welcome to the podcast. So, as you've probably heard from Ollie's episode, I'm going to start by doing a question I'm going to ask everyone, which is, you walk into a corner shop, you have £5 in your pocket, what are you getting?
Ooh. Now you know that me and you are a little bit impartial to the fruity at a casino.
Oh yeah.
So going down them routes, I'm grabbing a £2 scratch card.
Nice.
Yeah. Maybe a nice bottle of Coke to spray around everywhere once I've won.
Nice.
And I don't know what. Corner shops are usually quite budget, aren't they? So
yeah, they can be. Like, it depends. No, I mean, the Hollybush one's quite good. I quite like the Hollybush one, where you can just... there's quite a lot of, like, variety in what you can get.
Yeah. I'll probably go... I'm a big fan of jelly beans at the moment. I don't know why. I'm a bit of an addict to jelly beans, so... Scratch card, bottle of Coke, and some jelly beans.
Not a bad answer. To be honest, I didn't expect the scratch card, but yeah, I can't complain with that. £2 scratch
I don't
card
endorse
as well.
Gambling, by the way.
If I know, we don't endorse gambling on the TIllbrook Talks podcast. Just to let you know, we're not sponsored by Paddy Power yet. But yeah. So thank you for coming on, Rory. It's a pleasure. I wanted to get two of my closest friends on as the first two guests because, I mean, but like Stephen wasn't available, so here you are.
Oh yeah.
So let's crack on with some questions, Rory. Where should we start?
I'm an open book.
You're an open book. Okay.
Okay, well, I take that back.
I'm not fully open. Right, okay. There's a question which I don't even know if you'll know the answer to, but it's always...
a great start to an interview.
No, it's always baffled me, and I've always wanted to know the answer. Where has your obsession... Right, for anyone that doesn't know, Rory has an obsession with the colour green. Anything green... Rory will love. He wanted to get his first car green. He wanted to, I remember him coming into school once on a non-school uniform day, fully green.
Oh,
room painted green.
Have you seen the photo of that?
I can't. No, it was a revision day, wasn't it? For like when we was in year 11.
Yeah,
you come in like green shorts, green top, green hat, green shoes, and I was like, what? But where has your obsession with green come from?
I honestly have absolutely no idea.
Okay.
I mean, I can't even think of maybe I love being outside and there's loads of green or a football pitch. There's no real reason I wasn't forced broccoli as a child.
I mean, if you was forced broccoli as a child, I'd assume you wouldn't. You wouldn't like green.
I guess I'm somebody that attaches to things, and once I like something a lot, I love it. So, for example, pasta is another random thing that I'm addicted to.
Don't even start with you and your pasta.
I guess there's just unique things that for some reason I just grab onto and take to the extreme.
Okay. I mean, if you love something, I mean, it doesn't matter
exactly.
really. Like if you just
and then it can take over your life.
Yeah, so like all you eat is green pasta. That's it. There you go. That's how it goes. You have some weird food choices though. Like you told me the other day, because my mum, if everyone listening, my mum is a fantastic like cook and makes makes anything you could ask for. She'd probably make it. She's once made. In fact, no, I'll save that episode for when I get him on. I'll save that for when I get him on. But she makes anything, and Mum was like, "What does Rory like as a treat? I'll make him something." And then I was talking about sausage rolls and stuff, and he went, "Oh no, I don't like pastry." So what do you mean you don't like like any pastry at all? You won't eat?
Yeah. No, a lot of the food that I don't like is more texture than actual taste. So like potatoes, I don't like potatoes because they just feel like mush.
I can understand that, because potatoes on like mashed potatoes as well. The mashed potatoes just literally is just mush. I'm assuming you don't like scrambled egg either.
I actually do like scrambled egg.
Well, then you're a wrong un. I don't know what is wrong with you. I actually don't know what's wrong with you. If you don't like the texture of things, you're like, oh, I don't like potato because of how it feels, but you like scrambled egg.
I come from a very unique household.
Oh, that's. So. You've actually baffled me with that you like scrambled egg but not mashed potato.
I just don't want to be mainstream, innit? So.
Okay. No. All right. You've come up with some random things.
I'm a Newcastle fan. Let's not question my life choices.
Oh God! Don't even start me with Newcastle, mate. I
chose the furthest team away from me to support.
How did that come about? Like, have you got like family from Newcastle, or is it just a team that you liked?
So I'll tell you exactly how it came about.
Okay.
So I used to be a Chelsea fan, believe it or not. But this was
okay. My love for you is going up.
I only used to play football. I didn't really watch it.
Okay.
And then when I started, so I said that I supported Chelsea because at the time my best mate supported Chelsea.
Yeah.
And then one day I decided, after watching a bit of football, that I didn't want to support, sadly for him, I didn't want to support who my dad supports, which is Liverpool.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't want to support a team that wins everything because that's just boring. But I also don't want to support a team that loses everything. And at the time, Newcastle were like hanging around the top 10.
Yeah. Oh.
Relegation. Looking back at it now, that probably wasn't a great choice. But I don't know. I wanted to be a little bit different and support a team that I'd never had any friends that supported Newcastle.
Yeah.
It's me trying to be different, I guess.
Yeah, I was like, for me, that is pretty much the same. Like, I was a Manchester United supporter in early stages of my life because my dad supported them, and like a lot of my family did. In my family is pretty much either Arsenal or United. So I was a United fan because my dad supported them. And then I said to Dad, I just turned around. I remember turning around to my dad one day and just going, Dad, I don't want to support United anymore just because you support them. He just went, oh, okay. And and then
every father's worst nightmare, that.
No, but he wasn't that fussed because my dad's more of a rugby person.
What if you'd turned around and chosen Man City?
Oh God, mate. I don't even think I knew who Man City were at the time. Like, just like, I mean, everyone knows who Man City is at the moment, but no, I said to him, I was like, I was looking around because I was like, I quite like Chelsea players because at the time we had like Lampard, Terry, Drogba. I liked a lot of the players. And I was like, I'm gonna support Chelsea because I like Chelsea as a team, like who they have. They wasn't the most successful. Like they've won a league or two, but it wasn't like incredible. Yeah. This is before we won the Champions League, so I just chose the team. I think not as successful as Man United. It's nowhere near Newcastle level.
You can't be as successful as Man United.
No, you can't. It's not like exactly the same because you support Newcastle, who are absolutely awful at the moment. But yeah,
I mean, if I'd done my research, I probably wouldn't have chosen Newcastle and been the owner. But...
yeah. So you just picked Newcastle out randomly.
Sort of, yeah. I mean, I can't fully remember, but it must have been. I just looked at all the different teams in and around the middle of the table and picked one.
Okay. I mean, that's not fair enough. Like, If it's just someone who just like lucky dip pull out of a hat, oh that'll do.
Yeah, luckily there's no teams in that just played in green kits, so I didn't have that like
I mean,
persuasion.
there's a
I
couple.
mean, maybe Norwich, but I
Yeah,
don't know
that's
if
what I
Norwich
was
were.
thinking. Was Norwich were probably a championship team at the time.
Yeah, they probably weren't in the Prem.
Yeah. So,
But yeah, I managed to choose the furthest place to support.
have you ever been to a Newcastle game?
Yeah, I've been up there a couple of times.
What games have you gone to see?
I've seen us play Fulham countless times.
Nice.
That's always the cheap one. I've
The
seen us
shots
play
towards
West
Fulham
Brom.
fans.
I've seen us play West Brom in FA Cup when we lost. Yeah, I've never been to a derby. That'd be a great one, a Newcastle Sunderland derby. But that doesn't look like it's happening anytime soon.
No, not for a while. I mean, if you get relegated, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we don't talk about that.
I've only ever been to, I believe, 2 Chelsea games. I think I
Really?
can remember. I went to Wolves. I went to Chelsea for Wolves in 2010, and then the start of last year, just before Rona. I call it Rona. I sound like such a twat. Just before Corona, I went to Chelsea Reading, which was actually a really the atmosphere was fantastic.
Yeah,
Big up
always in
to
the football.
I believe Connor might be listening. Big up to Connor because Connor helped me buy the ticket, or he bought my ticket, then I paid him back. Much love to you, Connor. So
I remember the one Chelsea experience I had. Sorry, the one Chelsea experience I have. I went to go watch you lot play Tottenham at a like a final or something, and I just remember I was sat in I think we were sat in a box, and there was a group of Tottenham fans in the box next to us.
Yeah.
And Chelsea had just scored, and we were above the Chelsea fans. And there was a Chelsea fan that looked up at the Spurs fan in the box and started swearing at him. And then they were like trying to throw fists at each other, but they could barely reach each other. And I was like, this is the most London thing I've ever seen in my life, and I love it.
I can actually picture Chelsea fans doing that. Like,
it was so. I was only a kid, so I probably didn't find it funny. I was probably slapping myself.
You probably just no clue what's going on. Just looking around like,
yeah.
Cool. This is yeah. I wanted to move on to your uni work with what you're doing at uni. You're studying psychology at uni, correct?
I am, yeah.
It sounds like a police interrogation there. It's like, you're correct. Why did you...
I want my lawyer.
Why did you choose psychology?
So I did sports psychology as an undergraduate.
Yeah.
And the whole, I really got into that because I read this book when I was, I say I read this book, I read like 2 pages of it. Okay. Of a Newcastle sports psychologist. And for some reason, I found it fascinating, some of the ways that the random ways you'd never think of that actually affected how the team played. Okay. So I remember reading that the Newcastle players used to train in the middle of the pitch, as a warm up.
Yeah.
And then he said that they decided to change where the players warm up so that they would warm up facing the Gallagher end, which is like the die-hard Newcastle fans.
Yeah.
And they did an experiment on it, and they were like that. When the players were warming up facing the Gallagher end, they reported feeling 10 times more up for the game than when they were training in centre pitch. And just small things like that, you don't even think could influence you. And I was really into sport then. And just small things like that could actually impact the result of a game and how well you play. First got me into sports psychology, and I then wanted to go into that. And then, so I did the undergraduate and learned that actually you've probably got 2 sports psychologists in each team. So you've got more of a chance of being on the pitch than being a sports psychologist for a football team.
Yeah.
So I tried to then broaden my horizons and did some research and decided to maybe move away from sport a little bit and just go clinical. So I'm now looking at clinical psychology and becoming a therapist at some point. So that's really how that came about.
Because that's Am I correct in saying that's what your mum does?
Yes, yeah, she's studying art therapy at the moment as a
Oh, right.
master's.
I actually had art therapy in primary school. Like I was when I had to go through a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah.
There was a art therapist at our primary school, and I got put
Mm.
into art therapy. And it's quite good. It's just like all I can remember for an
Yeah,
hour was
it's
just
good for.
so what I can remember. What I'd imagine was I just sit with them for an hour just to see
Mm.
what like to see how I'd be reacting, how I'd be doing, just like would let me do whatever, and just to kind of react to or make notes of how I am and what like
Yeah.
what things I'm
It's
doing.
it's one of them things, isn't it, where not everyone can just sit and talk to a therapist.
No,
Some people need to
I couldn't do that.
can can talk more when they're distracted, or even you don't even need to say anything. Stuff that you just show off through your art or how you
Mm.
act during your art sessions. Yeah,
Yeah, because a
it's
lot of
definitely a different.
things come out when you're just there, say, being yourself
Yeah,
or
exactly.
just
Yeah.
acting how you normally would. You can see a lot of that in people, like
Mm.
how they're feeling, or like you said with the art doing, because different art brings out different emotions and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's a very interesting way to do it, but it's very smart, and it is a very good
Yeah, definitely.
concept. I'm a big fan of like the art therapy I done was really good for me when I was younger, and it really helped.
Yeah, studying psychology as well, you find out all these fascinating things you don't even like think would even be a thing. But you learn all these cool facts that may be completely irrelevant, but they're just
But they're
fascinating to know.
interesting to know.
Mm.
Yeah, go on, Ed. You can't say that and not give us some interesting facts that you people wouldn't know.
I'll give you a couple.
Okay.
So one that I learned very recently actually during my course,
Yeah.
and I gave a little heads up to Ollie about this one as well, is that, and you might laugh at this, babies cry in accents.
They babies cry in accents.
Yeah, baby cries have accents. So basically, when
I'm
when your
trying to
brain is developing,
comprehend
and
that.
when a child is developing, obviously you need to pick up on the language. Like that's how a child learns to speak, is they hear other people say it.
Okay.
Um, but obviously, when they're really young, all they can do is cry. That's how they express their emotions and what they want. That's
Yeah.
basically how they get attention because they can't talk. And different cultures and different countries talk in different pitches. So, for example, French people, when French people talk, they end the conversation in a high pitch. So, for example, they might talk like this,
Okay.
whereas German people and
Low
the German
pitch.
culture end their conversations in a low note.
Okay.
So, when babies cry, German babies, their cry will end in a low note, and French babies, their cries will end in a high note. And just irrelevant stuff like that that I'm never going to need to share with anyone except for a podcast like this, which is going to get millions of views in the future. I just find it fascinating to find out that babies actually have accents when they cry.
That's meant. How? Like, who has done the research on that to
Yeah,
work out?
exactly. Who decides that I'm going to try and figure out what babies say
That's
when they're crying, and
I
that there's
mean, no,
actually like different tones.
that I can understand, right? If you're trying to work out different babies, right, like different cries, sorry, for babies mean different
Mm.
things. So that is something that people would obviously want to figure out because they want to know what is wrong with the baby. Like people could tell if they need changing, need feeding, need rest, or whatever.
Yeah.
But how
There
do you?
are different cries for different things as well. But yeah, I don't know how you come up with baby cries have accents, but they did a study and they found that there's different pitches. It ends in different tones to match the culture.
You know what I could? You know what that's just made me think of? You know, like that meme. You like get subtitles, and I could just picture this baby who's French, and it just says in subtitles "cries in French."
Loire cries in French.
Loire. That's not racist, is it?
I don't think so.
I hope not.
Um, yeah, so that's a good fact. there's loads of like experiments that are fascinating as well. Like a more sad one. Have you ever heard of the Milgram experiment where they did the the zaps, the electric shocks,
I have,
and
yes.
there would be like what's the word, authority figure who would be encouraging them to keep doing it.
Yes, because I have seen something like that on Darren
Yeah.
Brown, I believe.
So basically, for anyone that hasn't heard of it, they did this experiment where they would get two people. One person is in on the experiment and knows about it, and the other person has no clue. And
Okay.
they would get the person that is just a general person that doesn't have any idea about what's actually going on in the study, and they'd sit them in a room, and they would tell them that the other person is wired up to this like electric shock thing.
Yeah.
And the person needs to ask them a question, and every time they get it wrong, they need to electrocute them as like a punishment for getting it wrong.
Okay.
And they were never actually electrocuting them, but they wanted to see how high a person and how far a person would go. So they would say that the electric volts got higher and higher to the point where it would say lethal, and there would be an authority figure who would be in a lab coat urging them to continue. And they found that like when there's an authority figure telling you to do it, you lose all sense of blame. And a lot of people delivered what they thought was the lethal electrocution. And a lot of people heard that one. But have you heard they did it on puppies? Yeah, and this is the sad one. They did it on puppies, and they did actual electric shocks.
No.
So they saw the puppies getting electrocuted, and what they found was when there was an authority figure, so like a scientist, telling you to continue, saying like you must continue, half of men delivered the lethal electrocution, like electric shock. It didn't kill them. It just said it was just an electric shock to the puppy. Half of men did it, and all females delivered the electric shock to the puppy that would have killed the puppy.
Oh my god!
Because the authority figure did it. And yeah, there's just some really cool but gruesome studies out there.
That's not cool. What do you mean?
Not cool, but that one's not cool. But that one's like interesting because you would think sitting here with no pressure on you, you would never electrocute a puppy. But 50% of men did, and 100% of women did.
Fuck! I shouldn't swear, but
in that study,
I couldn't think of doing that. I think it's because people feel safe when there's an authority figure, especially someone in a lab coat, because you think it's like just comes to your head. You see someone in a lab coat telling you, they're like, oh, they know what they're doing. So if they tell you to keep going, like, well, they must know that it's okay.
Exactly, and it displaces blame. So anything that happens is no longer your fault because they've told you to do it.
Yeah, I mean that is. God, puppies. Oh.
Do you want to know another grim one, or should we move on?
Let's move on. I can't deal with the puppies.
All right, we'll move on.
I just want to go hug my dog. Do you ever get that? Like where you see something on the TV, like something bad happening to a dog, and you just all you want to do is go hug your dog.
100%.
Oh my god.
I probably say that dog. I very rarely cry, but dogs have probably caused more than anything else. Like I once cried at Gogglebox because they showed a program of dog snatchers, and they had a lorry's worth of dogs alive piled up on each other in the back of a lorry.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that set me off. I can't watch Marley and Me. I've refused to watch it because
I was bursting out in tears when I watched
I've never watched it, and I will never watch it because I've heard about it, and I can't. And like I Am Legend, that's another one where he shoots a dog.
Oh, I haven't seen that, but I have heard that.
It's just because dogs are way better than humans. We don't deserve dogs.
It is that, but I think the other thing is when we see a dog, dogs are so innocent, and they're
so harmless.
They're harmless, and they can't do anything to protect themselves. Like when I've seen some horrible videos of dogs being hit and stuff, and they can't do anything to protect themselves, and it's awful. And we don't deserve dogs.
We definitely do not, but
we don't. I love Casper. Well, for anyone who's listening that doesn't know, Casper's my little dog.
What would we do without them?
Oh, I don't know. I would be lost without that dog. Honestly, it's the best feeling when you
Yeah.
come home
The
from
man's best
somewhere.
friend.
You come home from somewhere and you get greeted at the door by your dog is one of the best feelings ever.
Or when I come home and I get greeted by one, another one doesn't care that I've returned, and another one screams at me because it wants me to leave. That's normally how it goes. One's jumping at my ankles and the other one's telling me to fuck off.
Oh my god, I love dogs. Anywho,
Mm.
let's get back into it. 'Cause your psychology, because you've told us about
Yeah.
some of the most interesting stories you've heard during your times, but I'm just you've started. You said you were doing your sports psychology, and you actually started
Yeah.
a sports psychology Instagram page, Outside Sports.
Yes,
For
I have.
anyone who's not following,
Yeah.
please go check out this.
Quick promo.
It's a quick promo. It's a great Instagram page. It's very interesting.
Thank you.
But I have to ask, right? It may be a
Mm-hmm.
hard question. Top 3 posts on your page.
Great question.
Thank you.
Now some of them are fascinating to me. There's
Okay.
some more interesting ones and like gross ones, like a baseball player used to piss on his hands before every game is like his ritual.
Okay.
But my favourites would be being a goalkeeper. You in a penalty shootout, you try to do everything you can to throw somebody off, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if you watched this in the Euros in 2004. We would have been like 5 and 6, so probably not. But a goalkeeper called Ricardo Jettison or something.
Yeah.
He had a note on where every single player was going to shoot.
Okay.
And then, did you ever? It was a guy called Vassell who I think was never supposed to take a penalty, but he ended up having to take one, and the goalie had no notes. So in an attempt to put the guy off, he took his gloves off.
Oh.
And actually saved the penalty.
Oh my god.
So that was my sports psychology. Like, that's another thing. Like, you wouldn't think, but taking your gloves off could put the striker off.
Yeah. I mean, I'd imagine. Sorry, I'd imagine it's like quite easy because you're like the thing for the goalkeeper is just like try and throw him off, but then for the striker you're just trying to focus. So you could be easily thrown off by anything.
Yeah. And the last thing you expect is the goalie to chuck his gloves off.
Exactly. No one's expecting. You would never expect someone to just like in goal
But
just to be like
a very small thing like that. He took a striker off of one moment, and it put them through in the Euros.
That's incredible.
So that's what I mean. Something so small can have such a big impact.
That's incredible.
So yeah, that would be my number 3.
Okay.
Number 2 would be when Norwich painted the away changing room baby pink, because baby pink is associated with childhood memories and releases like chemicals that make you relax.
Ah.
So they painted their away changing room baby pink in an attempt to like relax the away team before a game, so they wouldn't be at their best.
That's psyched out.
I thought that was
very
quite
clever. That is very.
It actually got banned. They had to change it.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, because I don't like. Technically, there's nothing wrong with it, so I don't know why. But I just remember reading that they had to change it.
That's very cool. I did not know. Yeah, like certain colours link to certain things. I'm assuming. So,
yeah, like red's anger.
Red's anger, blue's
and
calm.
Baby pink apparently releases childhood experiences.
I mean, that's two different, very different explanations, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like red is anger, baby pink releases childhood memories. Oh, cool.
Yeah. I think my joint. No, I'll say my number 1. I won't say how it ends because they'll have to go over to Outside Sports to see it. But there's a video, my latest post, about, so you know how a lot of people have like superstitions.
Yes.
So there are 2 hockey players, and you know some superstitions are like last one out the changing rooms, last one off the pitch,
Yes.
stuff like that. Yeah. both hockey players on the different teams had the same superstition that they had to be the last person off the ice before the game. So there's a great video on my account of two players on different teams refusing to leave the ice because they had to be the last one off, and how they end it is quite hilarious. I won't tell you how. They'll have to go over to the Instagram. Shameless plug, but it's
No,
quality.
it's not a shameless plug. Plug yourself, mate. Happily, not a problem.
Yeah, it's just like when you have a superstition and you're so determined to it, when someone else has the same one and it's leaving the pitch at the same time, what the hell do you do then?
That is
But yeah, no,
interesting.
there's
because obviously you can't
a
have
lot.
that. Like you've got two people say
Someone's got to go
someone's
first.
got to go. Yeah, your superstition can't be there, and I'm assuming in their head they're like, if I leave the pitch before the other person, we're gonna lose.
You'll play worse, won't you?
Yeah. Did you ever have any superstitions when you used to play?
I still do have one.
Go on.
Because I'm a goalkeeper. When I'm in goal and the game's about to start, I have to stand on the line. I have to bang the right goal post with my right hand, like sidestep along the line to the left post, hit the left post, and jump up and touch the crossbar.
Okay.
And I don't know why, but I did it once and I just kept it going.
It's just a thing.
So what about you? Have you got any superstitions?
I can't say I have. I can't think of any that I have. The only thing that I can think of that I have is when I get nervous, I click. So like if I'm just sitting down and I feel a bit anxious and I feel a bit like on edge, I'll just start clicking, and it's just a thing I've always done. I used to do it at work, like if I was getting stressed.
A comfort thing.
So I just to make me feel a bit more comfortable, I would just click, and it would just make me calm down. It'd just be a little thing. So people have noticed me click before, just randomly, and they're like, "What are you doing?" And I just say, "Oh, it just makes me feel."
You're breaking out into song like,
just me, just in the middle of something, just doing Motown.
Having a serious conversation. It's the road, Jack. Don't come back.
There's that, and I have my origin of how I got my lucky number 11, which is
everyone's got a lucky number.
Everyone's got a lucky number. So yours is obviously 72.
72. Yeah.
Big 72. But mine's 11, which I know you're aware of, because when I was younger, I must have been about 7 or 8. I went to Butlins, and at Butlins they have these deal or no deal machines, and I put £2 in because it was £1 for a normal game or £2 for a double game, and the jackpot was like 2,000, I think it was, like 2,000 tickets, and I clicked box number 11, and I went through the whole game, kept box number 11, and 2,000 was still there. I've opened it up, and I won the jackpot. I was like, oh my god,
Jeez.
No way. I literally was like, what do I do? And I remember having people around me, like these people, I had no idea who I was. I was just a 7, 8-year-old child, and these people just around me were just like clapping me as I won. I was like, I didn't know how to feel. I was like, thanks, okay.
You just win a lottery.
Yeah, I just pretty much won the lottery at the arcade.
Everyone knows you.
Yeah, I just, oh my god, everyone like just around me, just clapping. I was like, I didn't know how to feel. I was so uncomfortable.
To be fair, based off, have you ever like the arcade prices? That probably gets you a couple of sweets.
I think I walked off. I think the best arcade prize I've ever got was a Krusty the Clown, like massive teddy. This wasn't from the same place. We went to Yarmouth or somewhere. It was me, my mum, and my nan. And my nan was shit scared of the thing. Like she'd walk into a room and it would just be sat there. She'd be like, "Fucking thing." So what I decided to do one year, when she was just about to go to bed, she went outside. And I said to Mum, "I'm gonna go hide this in her bed." So when she, so I've done it. I've put it under the covers and everything. And then my dad's gone, "Right, I'm gonna go to bed." I was like, "All right." And we just heard, my nan screamed from the other room, "What the fuck?" And it was just me and my mum in the front room of the caravan just absolutely pissing ourselves because she just shit her pants. It was so funny. Oh my god. Oh, I miss going
Quality.
on holiday when I was younger. Like, you know, like
Mate, I miss going on holiday now.
Oh no, yeah, I know that. I've got one booked for the week of my birthday. We're going up to, oh my god, Yarmouth. Just me, mum's friend, granddaughter, and Charlotte. All going to go stay in a caravan. It's quite nice. I think it's Yarmouth. I might be wrong. Yeah, but it's a lovely place. You ever been Yarmouth?
I feel like I probably have, but I don't remember
It's
it.
one of those places where everyone feels like they have been,
Yeah,
but they're
it's
not
like
100%
Devon,
sure.
isn't it?
No, yeah, I don't think I've ever actually been to Devon. I can't remember. Clacton was one I always used to go to as a kid. Clacton,
Where's that?
yeah. It's like another
That sounds like a dodgy place in London.
No, it's like another seaside town. One seaside town I absolutely hate was last year me and Charlotte went to visit one of her friends in
Oh, sounds horrible.
in Kent. It wasn't that bad. And we've done a day trip up to Margate. And oh my god, if anyone's listening, I very much doubt it. If anyone's listening in Margate, I feel so sorry for you. The only good places there was the Spoons that we didn't even go in because
Can't go wrong.
No, we didn't even go in because one of the people forgot their ID. So we were like, right, we can't go in. The escape room, and that was like it. Everything else was just like we walked out of the train station, and there were these stone statue, like little stone things. I don't know what they were that just had like phrases on them. Like one of the phrases was like, "My egg and cress sandwich felt that mummy made me felt so light on my lap," or some shit like that. Yeah, no, I turned to Charlotte as soon as we got there and went, "I want to go." I hate this place. Like everywhere we were going, I was just looking around and just one thing, like just one more and more was just awful. And I just went, I hate this place. Just more and more. And throughout the day, it was just, I hate this place. I hate this place. It was absolutely
a Spoons in an escape room. Can't go wrong.
Yeah, the escape room though was well, it felt like it was ages away. Charlotte's mate took us the longest like scenic route ever. That was all like hills and stuff, and it was just like turns out it's just round the corner. She just took us like proper out of the way. It's like, oh yeah, it's just up here. It's just up here, and it was just out the way. But one thing I did find that day was apparently I am a god at escape rooms.
Oh, fairs.
Yeah, because I was just figuring everything out.
I want to do an escape room. I've not done one before, but they look really cool.
Oh, we've got to do one. Oh my god, they're so funny. There's one in Harlow, I believe. I think that might be the closest one to us. We could always take a trip up there when we can.
There was one in Winchester, but I just never did it.
You need to do it. It's just so fun. They're just like absolutely baffling. We done two because they gave us like a special price on the second one we done. And there was one thing in there that you'd get something out of a drawer that come out of the wall, and you'd had to put it up against this thing to figure out what symbols meant what or something. And they said that takes normally people about 15-20 minutes to figure out. I got it out the drawer and put it up straight away. The guy was like, "How the fuck have you done that?" Like no one straight away done it. They were like, "Oh, I don't know what to do with this thing." I just put it up, and I was like, "Oh, that makes sense," and just went from there. And they were like, "We were absolutely baffled because there were cameras in there, so they could see what you're doing." And I actually, towards the end, the lights cut out. And I screamed. So, like, I done a really high pitched scream, and they told us, they said, never have we ever, in the history we've been here, had someone scream in another room to make. So there were people doing another escape room somewhere else. They said they thought in that escape room that was a clue. My scream, they thought was a clue for them doing something, but it's just me just screaming. You know, like they had to tell them. They had to tell them it was just me doing it. It was. I fully recommend anyone who's
I feel like I would
never
just
done one.
like you know, like in Codenames. I feel like I would just start overthinking stuff. Like I'd be like, "Oh, there's a chair, but I can't. They've done it so I can't see the chair. So have to take the C out of chest, so it's
yes.
hair.
No.
So it's got nothing to do with TIllbrook, but maybe it's in my hair.
Thanks. So no, you can kind of get a bit mixed up, but once you get in there, it's sort of self-explanatory, and you can get where they're coming from. It's nothing major. Like there's sometimes something that's in a wall, but there's nothing. Like I just straight away, as soon as I went in to the second one, was just pressing the wall because I saw it was all panels. I was like, right, one of these has got to open. But it's nothing like you're not overthinking. It's pretty basic. Like you'll get it as you go along. But yeah, it's a great experience. I fully recommend going to an escape room.
Will at some point.
Yeah, we'll have to do one. Who would we do?
Yeah.
Who would we want to do one with though? Like say say there's 5 of us because we went with 5. So there's me, you. Who would we pick?
So I think Ollie potentially.
Okay.
I think if we brought in Poria, I just feel like he would try and like calculate everything.
No, Poria would just be overthinking everything.
No. Recent studies have shown that it can't be that.
Recent studies show.
Yeah, Poria would assume that there's logic to all of it.
Oh.
Matt wouldn't be able to see the top shelf of anything, so we couldn't bring him.
No. Same with Gene.
Yeah. Although Gene could just run through the wall and we would make it to the next room.
We just said like me, you, Ollie, and Poria would just like yeet Gene through things.
Shannon would sit in a corner and cry.
Yeah.
Because it would stress her out.
That sounds about right. See, I think that would be a cool idea for me and you if we'd done a double date. Like escape room. Me, you, Ellis, and Charlotte. Yeah. That'd be quite funny.
Yeah. Ellis, like, she really likes being a detective, but I feel like an escape room, I feel like I would just piss her off too much.
I had an argument with Charlotte's friend in an escape room. Like, we was clashing. But luckily for me, because I always like to be right, I was right most of the time. So,
but have you ever seen the Sidemen escape room video?
Yes.
You know, I think it's Ethan and someone else. They're in there with Vic, and Vic's trying to figure it all out, and then Ethan's just on the spinny chair. He's just sat on the wheel. That would be me, and Ellis would be trying to figure it out, and I'd just find like a spinny chair.
And me and you just be like Ellis and Charlotte would be like, right. We got this maybe this and really just be like,
I'd find this symbol and we'd be like,
oh my god, this chair's wicked. Like, oh, look at the detail in this room. Like, guys, yeah. Like, nah, this.
We might both walk out of that room single.
And speaking of Ellis, I did want to know how, like, I think you have told me the story before, but like, how did you and Ellis meet? Because I know you met at uni, but like, what's the story of how you two met fully?
Well, I want to say that, you know, it was love at first sight, and it was just meant to be. But we actually have different stories of how we both first met.
Okay.
So she tells me that because I was the year above.
Yeah.
So when she came in for freshers, I was in second year.
Okay.
So she tells me that technically the first time we ever met was when she spoke to me at the athletics stand, because I was part of the athletic society and I was trying to like get the freshers in, and each society has like a stand on Freshers Week where you like hand out leaflets and flyers and all that and try and persuade people to join society. And she claims that she spoke to me there. I mean, I spoke to so many freshers at that thing that like none of them, like there were so many of them that I was never going to remember anyone.
No.
And then she was also apparently, we did like this fun day of athletics to try and get to know all the freshers that had joined. So all the seniors had a group each of like 3 or 4 freshers,
Okay.
and apparently Ellis was in my group, but I was so like focused on just trying to like make it seem like athletics is really fun, and we were like put in pairs within our group. So I was just with this guy. So I was mainly focused on like doing the things with this guy that I wasn't really focused, which isn't really a good leader. But you know,
no. But...
first time I remember talking to Ellis.
Okay.
Is that we had this thing called Bop every Wednesday, which is like the uni night out where everyone gets dressed up as like Super Mario or a builder or something. And I spoke to her at the Prees in the back garden, and then actually at Bop the first week she was trying to flirt with me, and I wasn't having any of it because it was the first week of Bop, and I wanted to just see all. It was like the first week back, so I wanted to see all my friends and just dance with my friends. And I was like, I don't want nothing to do with anyone else. I just want to see all my mates. And yeah, she didn't get anything off me then.
I can just imagine Ellis trying to be like, "Oh, hello," like trying to chat you up, and she's like, "Lads."
Bless her though. She was what's the word?
Persistent.
She was persistent, and in the second week, she was like, "Right, I need to get this guy's attention." So she stole my police hat, and I chased her around the nightclub.
It's a good way to get the attention. I mean,
yeah,
steal your hat. I mean, you wouldn't just steal your hat, and you just imagine you just like, nah, and just like left.
Go report her to the bouncers. Be like, "Can you get this girl out of it?"
Excuse me, this girl's just stolen my hat.
And then the worst thing that should never happen to any man happened to me. Because then we spoke for a bit, and I like offered to buy her a drink. We went up to the bar, and I ordered the 2 drinks, and then I looked at my wallet, and I just didn't have my card with me. So
no!
So I had to be like, "Can you get these 2, and I'll get the next 2."
Oh,
and then she was like, "Oh, you'll have to take me on a second date then to do that." And I was like, "Yeah, definitely."
Oh,
but it's not like I with my mates, like as every guy does, because you know we're all pigs. When all the freshers turn up, you say who you think like the best, not the best, like the fittest, and who you fancy the most.
You better say Ellis right now, otherwise you're going to get a bollocking.
Ellis was one of the ones I named. I only named 2, and Ellis was one of them.
Okay, we won't ask the second one.
Nah.
Oh,
but yeah. So it was a unique way to meet.
Yeah, but it's a nice way to meet. It's like you've obviously done well because you're still with her.
Yeah.
After how
and
how
she's
long
done
have you
very
been
well.
together?
She's punching.
She's punching. How long have you been together?
Oh God, I can't get this wrong, can I?
No, you can't.
It's over 2 years.
Okay. Okay, no, that's a solid answer.
Yeah, that's a safe answer.
Over 2 years. She's probably like got it written down, like the exact date and time.
I know it was in September. I'm treading very dangerously here. I think it was in September.
Well, freshers. Think freshers.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
about September. Yeah. Okay, that's not bad. Like, yeah, I'd say 2.5. Sounds about right, is it?
Yeah, between them.
Yeah, something like that. Over 2 years is a solid answer.
Over 2 years, exactly.
Yeah, so
I'm not wrong.
You're not wrong. So you know, like one of those memes. It just reminds me of a meme where it's like a whole jar of jelly beans. It's like how many jelly beans are in this jar? It's like at least 12. It's like, well, you're not wrong. Right, Rory. I say we've been waffling on for long enough. So, thank you very much for being the second guest. Another thing for everyone at home is Rory. I have asked Rory to be kind of a co-host, but he's going to be a regular guest on the show because he's got a lot of uni work to do. So he can't be co-host.
I'm going to be the Lawrence McKenna to your True Geordie podcast.
And that is him calling me fat and bald.
Whoever that guy is on the Jackmate podcast.
Stevie. Whoever that guy is. How dare you?
I only watch the clips.
No, I need to start watching that because you know Pie Face. Oh my god, he waffles so much. I just love him. He's so funny. He's like one of the next guests to be on that podcast, and I just want to listen to that. So I'm going to try get into that podcast. But yeah, I shall let you go, Rory. I think
Yeah,
that has
it's been great. I really like this podcast.
Yeah, thank you. Well, you better like it because you're going to be a regular guest on it. So I hope you like it. So
I like the first one and I like this one. Go on, end your podcast. Go on.
So I have been Alex TIllbrook, and you have been
RORY.
No, stop it.
Sorry, I just want to be like my idol.
And that has been Rory Goodman, and I shall see you all in the next one.